Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Wa alaikum assalam.
The issue with social media, you know, people use it more than we could ever imagine. And they sometimes fall into the haram without knowing that they fell into haram. Can we like summarize what things that you advise people to do when they engage in social media?
Bismillah, alhamdulillah, salatu wassalamu rasulillah. Social media is something that it's one of the biggest challenges we have in modern days today.
Right.
And I don't know how the future of that, world is going to be. It's hard to imagine actually how this will progress. When it comes to social media, you are either contributor or receiver.
Okay.
Okay. So let's talk about contributing first. Mm-hmm. Make sure that you don't post anything that it is false information. Don't spread rumors, because that's not allowed. The Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam talk about someone who will lie, and his lie tablugh al-afaq. His lie will reach the horizons, and that can happen today with social media. You spread something and it became so famous, and that person in Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he saw a person who does things like that in his dream, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, was set by two angels, and they are torturing him in his grave. Why? Because he used to spread lies, and they had like a hook. It would be put in his mouth, on his nose, pulled all the way to the back of his head. That's the type of punishment that he will be receiving. So that's a serious thing. You need to watch what you spread, what you share. And it's not an excuse for you to say, I didn't say it, I'm just sharing it. Okay. Another thing also, false information about religion.
Yeah, that's dangerous.
Yeah, fabricated hadith. Quote from a scholar he never said. Don't share from anyone unless somebody you trust. Okay. And also a hadith. You just don't, unless, even if they say whoever reported, make sure that this is trustworthy information. Because the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, don't be one of the two liars.
Yes.
So there's two liars two people attribute lies to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The one who basically invented the hadith, who make up the lie, and the one who's spreading it. So that's dangerous. Because the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, whoever attribute lie to me, expect no place in the hereafter except a place in hellfire. Makan fi nar. So also when it comes to contributing, make sure that your contribution is beneficial, okay, to people. Something, it doesn't need to be serious all the time, but something of benefit. Also, free from haram. Don't contribute by doing or spreading nudity or indecency or kufr or things like that. Also, make sure if you engage and you contribute on social media, please don't be don't be always angry and cursing and instigating people, bring the worst out of people. Try to be an element of positiveness. Okay.
Yes.
I used to say, when X used to be called Twitter, I say, tweet people the way you like to be tweeted. So when you send message, make sure that you take in consideration what you want, the language that you use. Some people, they make comments on posts and stuff like that, so rude, so mean, accusing people intention. There is no need for that. Also, make sure that you don't use social media for personal vendetta or angry, your ex or somebody, friends or somebody you don't like.
Revenge and
spreading false information about the person and attacking them in public. Okay. And many people justify for themselves these things. I want to defend this, I want to protect, I want to say the truth, I want to expose the person because he's dangerous. And the reality is, what's in your heart is not that. You can tell from some of these posts, it's all about personal, and they just put the religion as a sheet to cover this aura, but the reality is it's a personal thing. Also, one of the things that, as a contributor to social media, let's spread the language of respect. the language of love, the language of
Decency.
husn al-dhan, decency. Even, I'm not against that you criticize, I'm not against that you point out, but with the appropriate language, okay? And also, when you contribute and you get into, don't waste your time in debates, because you don't know who is behind the keyboard in the other end.
Right.
Sometimes people get too excited, and in the end, you find that you are been debating a kid who's like 12 years old, you know, or like just a teenager who's
using ChatGPT.
Yeah, or somebody like trolling, you know?
Right.
And you get too excited and like, yeah, you know what, you don't know. So somebody's so ignorant. Somebody completely irrelevant. So don't waste your time.
Right.
Don't get into this mode of debate. When it comes to receiving, okay, you have to understand something. Everything you see, everything you hear, it goes to your heart.
Wow.
It will impact your heart.
That's right.
So make sure that you don't fill your heart with junk. Because if you fill it with junk, there's no space left for the good thing. Make sure also when you're the receiver in the social media, make sure also that you filter the information. Make sure you don't expose yourself a lot to people. Like I like one of the scholars was saying, social media today is like whoever like goes to social media a lot, like every hour or every like 7, 8, 10 times a day, or you know, or more, or you know. He said, it's like imagine in the old days, if there is one guy goes from his house and goes to every house in the village or in the city and every gathering and sit to listen to them. They're sitting in the restaurant and he goes sit on their table. What are you guys doing? You know, and you go to another table sitting, and you go to the people who playing and sitting on the street listening to them. Can you imagine somebody doing that? That's exactly who you are when you do social media and get in everybody's, you know, business and Instagram and following everybody and like, you know, those. So you sit with them on the table with their home and they're like, what this kind of person will look like I've been before. Nosy, have no business, have nothing better in life to do, wasting his life. It's the same thing, you wasting your life this way. You know? And it's amazing, like Sheikh, like it became an obsession. You know, and people post everything about their life, not just the food and like one person put on his Facebook, oops, I broke my wudu. Who cares you broke your wudu? You know, it just became so obsession. Yeah. Like maybe trolling, joking, but it's became to the level that people really became, you know, the absolute opposite of what the Prophet ﷺ said. Husni Islam mar tarkuhu ma la yani. Right. It's from your good Islam is to avoid concern of you. So when you are a receiver, make sure that you filter, you reduce the amount of exposure to social media. Increase the amount of use of social media for something good. Follow somebody who put a good content. Follow someone who give you good advice. Someone, you know, there's so much good and khair in social media as well. And social media are not created equal. You know, they have very different, you know, impact. And one of the worst platform for social media, the one that expose you constantly to indecency. Like even there is no algorithm, like it just flood you with whatever people talking about. You know, and one of these platforms, in my opinion, TikTok, and became, you know, desensitized. Like the person became like khalas familiar with seeing these scene and bad scene. So unless you are a contributor of good content, otherwise I will highly recommend that you don't go to some of these websites and these social medias. Finally, your kids. Social media can be very, very, very dangerous, and I mean that word. A very bad influencer in your children. Teenagers and younger. Just so many parents don't pay attention to it. Take it for granted. There is nothing for granted. There is predators all the time in social media try to get your children. There is content that will impact and will shift their minds, the way they see things, the way, and without even realizing. Like one father was telling me that day, he was talking to his daughter, he said, "You're not allowed to watch this." So well, it's nothing, just wearing like bathing suits, bikinis. What's wrong with that? We see it all the time. And he said, "Well, shucks, seeing all the time. None of us wear that." And he forgot that they're seeing this all the time in movies and social media, and it became a norm. Maybe it's not norm inside your house, but you created another norm for your children. It disassociates them to be engaged in anything good, which is reading, being quality time with family. Even people don't want to go vacation because it will take them away from social media. So make sure that you limit the amount of hours, especially your kids. And I always say, for your kids, cut them off completely from TikTok, Instagram, Snapchat, all those things, all this junk. Just make sure your kids don't have access to this. I really believe that this is the safest way, because it's so hard to monitor this.
Yeah.
And if you have to give them one of these platforms, it has to be while you're next to them, while you are like seeing or knowing, for a limited amount of time. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect all of us and to make it easier. That's what I advise I have in regard to the use of social media.
Jazakallah khair, Sheikh. That was very beneficial.